Video 19N. It's on coronavirus, of interest to coronavirus. And it's about the Oireachtas Golf Society. You're welcome back. It's the 21st of August. And I said before, I might try have part of my channel, Val's Pictorial Weekly. I didn't get the sign made yet. I'll be putting it up here somewhere. Now, I'm told there's no test for COVID-19 at all. Again, I'm not sure. But to say that all they can do is test you for antibodies for a flu-like virus. And that covers the common cold and all kinds of flus. And if that's the case, how can they say there's 26,000 people tested positive? I did a video on that anyway, you'll have seen it. Now, Clifden is a town in the west of Ireland, in County Galway. And a crowd from the Dáil Oireachtas, it's actually the Oireachtas, which is the Senate and the Dáil, the Oireachtas Golf Society, went off down for their annual outing in August, but this was the 50th anniversary. And it so happened, this would be not attract too much attention, but a local shopkeeper sold a big lotto winner, and he was hoping to get all the publicity, and it turned out he got none, because the whole thing about the golf outing blew up in a massive media frenzy. Among those in attendance was Donny Cassidy, Dara O'Leary, was a judge, and Podge Connolly, who was a TD from Monaghan. He went for election on the Monaghan hospital issue. It's nearly gone now, it's just there for certain things. Cavan does all. But he did serve at the Dáil for a while. He was concerned about the hospital. But he must play golf because he's a member of the society, and he went down. But the problem was he was only back from Spain 8 days before, and Spain is not on the green list. Spain is a high-risk COVID-19 country according to our government. And so he should have spent 14 days in quarantine. Don't know what to do there. Put him in a big room and no window. I don't know. But anyway, he had 6 more days to go. But he went down to the golf. So it's been labelled Golfgate after Watergate. Now, looking at it from my own perspective and the local perspective here, we have a Skittle Society in our area of East Cavan, South Monaghan and North Meath. We have a few stragglers from the County Louths as well. And we also have a pitch and putt gambling society. Oh, we don't mix with them now. The Skittles people are a wee bit more. We're a cut above. We wouldn't be as high up as the golf. We're a bit better than the gambling society. We do bet on the Skittles as well. And you can win a prize, you win a cup. And the fella that won it last year, there was no muff this year, so what's going to happen? Does he get keeping it for 2 years? Anyway, we have our annual competition at the Fair of Muff on the 12th of August each year. Now, we have no judge, we have no politician involved in it. I don't know why. I don't play golf. Never bothered me head. I knew some people who do. Presume it's a good game. Now we have a new facility built there a few years ago. A lovely kind of a footpath and the correct gradient. And it's just at the back as you come out of the pub part where the music and dancing is normally. And between there and the toilet. Toilet is a square building and the men go in on the left and the women go in on the right. And there's a big wall in between. And a kind of a roof to stop any spying. And now I'm not too good at the Skittles. I'm often knocked 3. I knocked 4 one time. But you have to be careful because there's a man in charge there. He's very strict and he has a bag with the money in it and all. And when anyone goes to the toilet, he'll shout stop and you don't throw because you'd hit them in the legs. But if they come out suddenly, you could be careful. If the stick has gone out of your hand and somebody comes out, let's say a lady, you could have a problem. Well, we were always very lucky now, it must be said. But we do try and measure how long each person is in the loo. It can vary. to avoid hitting them with the stick. See the skittle footpath is like that. The toilet's here and the pub is here. So they're going up and well, you could go around, of course. Now, we don't have an annual dinner as such. We don't go off down to Capra Castle or into a fancy restaurant. But we do have Matty's Mobile Diner. Now, this is a van which is converted to cook all kinds of chips, burgers, sausage and batter, plain sausage, spice burgers, onion rings. He only does the small ones now. I think he buys them in a big box packet in Lidl's. And you can get tea, you can get Coke, 7-Up, and Club Orange. And if you're stuck, he'll do you a cup of coffee out of a jar of coffee he has. He doesn't have the machine. And he has a girl there working too, and they're going flat out all the time. So, I mean, it's not too far behind. And you have a choice of menu, like you pick, but you have to pay yourself. So, I think I told you, you have red sauce. Oh, I didn't. He has red sauce, you have mustard, and you have brown sauce. And last year he had barbecue sauce. So you can delve on, no limit on the sauce, on the burger. You can slap it on there. And you can put red sauce and mustard. And they have a frying thing that will do fried onion. They call them salty onions. You don't want to go for the onion rings. It's a bit cheaper if you get the onion rings. It's a bit cheaper to get the salty onion than the onion rings. They're more expensive. So then you get a few drinks in the bar. And all was cancelled. The whole thing was cancelled over COVID-19. And we have to be deprived of it. And these fellas is running the country, the lawmakers, are off doing the exact same. Only it's very unlikely if any of the Skittle Society have been out to Spain or anywhere else. They're not the type that goes there. Well, we have every kind of profession now, mostly farmers. We've an odd lad on job seekers allowance. And we've a few working with FOSS. And we've a couple of part-time mechanics. And yeah, like we're a mix. We're a mix of people, like mix of professionals, like, you know. Anyway, the thing about it is, didn't it get out on them? It blew up on them and it became public. That's right enough when you think of it. I mean, it was a scandal. How could they, the limbs of the law and the makers of the law and the judges of the law, do this? We couldn't get the fair muff. Now, there was a muff for selling horses, and there was some people had a bit of a thing, but the main events were cancelled. Nobody cared. These people didn't care. Now, Darragh O'Leary, the Minister for Agriculture, is gone. And he's, just before him, Barry Cowan was forced to go over motoring offences. And I made 2 videos on Barry Cowan setting up in position. And I see that Jim O'Callaghan, the TD for South Dublin, has agreed with me. He said he shouldn't have been sacked. Because there are serious issues there about how long a penalty for something you do wrong, particularly when it's only a fine on the spot, should last, and what you should suffer in your career and your work as a result. I think I was right there. So what am I supposed to do? My cows are going round the field and they don't know who's in charge. First we had no government for ages, since the election in February. Then we had Barry Cowan, and he said he wasn't going to make us get rid of cows. He only lasted a few days. He was put out. I don't know what this fella's up to, but I have a letter here telling me a cow has to go. And which of them am I going to get rid of? They're all good cows. Jim O'Callaghan agreed with me. Now, how do you spell Micheál Martin's name? Is it Micheál, Mahal, or what is it? It's Irish. I spelt it this way. I don't think he puts Delhi at the end of it. He's the head bottle washer, he's the Taoiseach. And he's just back from Europe, having negotiated a deal to help us through the COVID-19 pandemic. So he managed to negotiate that we'll get €3 billion. 3 billion. But he gave away 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And take away 3, 1, 2, 3. So we end up paying 13 billion to help us get over COVID. Huh? Some deal. And Italy, that's in dire straits financially, has to pay in more than it gets out too. What's going on? Mary Lou wants the Dáil recalled. Mary Lou McDonald is the leader of Sinn Féin party. She wants the Dáil recalled. And who's going to be in it when it is recalled? Oh, what are they going to do? They're off for 2 months or 3, I don't know me. Now the commentator Jerry there on the video of Muff referred to where they are as an equestrian centre. Does anyone actually know what it is? It's a huge big building and they have it fenced off with plywood. I'd have used just a bit of barbed wire. Plywood's gone very dear, and so is Perspex. He says they should go back to the house, to Leinster House. They could wear masks. And this raises the question, now that we have a connection between a highly infected area of Spain, through Podge Connolly and through the Oireachtas Golf Society, should we quarantine the whole Golf Society? With the Curragh, isn't there a place in the Curragh where they used to hold the rebels or somebody, some kind of prisoners, or Loughlin House? Do we shut down Clifden? I mean, they've had, in fact, potentially infected people in their midst. This government cannot go on the way it's going, and even itself, it can't comply. There was a bit of a panic in the beginning, we all agree, we all have to be careful. But while they're all this going on for themselves, they have a different rule for us. I call them stubborn nanny staters. I spoke to a few people I think that if we get to the budget, at some stage the bill has to come in for this. How are the Greens going to support a terrible budget, a very, very austere budget, even some of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael? And they're facing a claim for a rise in the electricity bill of €110 a month. Sorry, a year. €110 a year, annually. Still a lot to pay for windmills. And Charlie Bird was in the paper looking for us to bail out RTE and be more charitable to RTE. Now this here is Read Through Educational. This is RTE. Don't confuse that other RTE, Radio Television. And I don't want that to do with it. Oh, keep it out away. It's just purely coincidental. I don't need any bailout. But they need a bailout. And they're all broke. They're only after bailing out Bord na Móna. So what's going to happen, Bord na Móna I meant to say, what's going to happen on budget? They're likely to be of such calibre that they don't care what to do. They'll just vote whatever's put in front of them by the civil service and by Europe. Having said that, they have to think of getting re-elected. It's a shaky enough government. Folks, that's Val's Pictorial Weekly on the Oireachtas Golf Outing. I don't know, they say a lot of funny deals are done on golf clubs. I don't know. Oh, we don't do any funny deals at all at the Skittles in Muff. Although a fella sold a car one day to another fella in it. That's it. Give me a thumbs up, please. Or a thumbs down. And we'll sign off. And thank you very much. And I wish to welcome any newcomers. I got a great new batch of subscribers. You're very welcome on board. We'll try and do the best to keep you entertained and informed. As Thomas Jefferson said, if you don't buy a newspaper, you're ill-informed, and if you buy one, you're misinformed. Bye. Do-dee-doo-dee-doo. thumbs up or thumbs down. Bye. 21st of August 2020. Sorry for the mistakes. Bye bye.